So, Jozy, you've been away from this league for, what, 5, 6 years. How has it changed? The style of play, the standard of play, how has all that changed in the time you've been gone?
Yeah, it's gotten better. I think it's improved year by year from following it while I've been in Europe. And I think it shows now. All the teams are really competitive, and little by little, it's improving.
So for you personally, what's it been like readjusting to this league?
It's been okay. It hasn't been really that, I'm still, I think, adjusting to it, just getting used to everything again in terms of like the travel and stuff like that. But it's nice for me to be back here and be home and to be around my family, so I'm enjoying it.
Right, so how does it, your coach was talking about the difference in rhythm, because you've been up and down with the national team. So what's it been like trying to get back into your rhythm and start scoring goals again here?
It's been fine. Just in the beginning was a bit odd because I had the January camp, and then you had the March friendlies, so that was a bit strange. And then with the bye weeks all the time, you didn't have week in and week out games, so now we have that. So far it's been okay.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say that next month, May, you finally get to play games at home. It's a pretty hectic schedule, but does it feel like you've been kind of living out of a suitcase since you got here? Because you've been on the road an awful lot.
No, definitely. I haven't spent that much time home, but it's part of it. And I look forward to coming here and playing. I'm really excited for that game, and I think a lot of people are. So hopefully we can get a good result in Philly and bring that momentum back here for that opener.
You mentioned travel, Jozy. How does the travel schedule differ between MLS and the European leagues?
I think it's self-explanatory. One trip could be 5 hours in the U.S., and the longest trip for, say, anywhere in Europe is an hour or something like that. So, yeah.
It's self-explanatory, but as a reporter, I need you to say it.
Well, yeah. The U.S. is quite big, so traveling from, for example, Toronto to California, it take 4 or 5 hours on an airplane. Whereas if you play in a country like, say, England, from top to bottom in the country, the cars isn't that bad. So, yeah.
Despite the challenges of the travel and all that, you still managed to score 4 goals in your first 6 games. Have you almost surprised yourself with the amount of times you've scored so far, like adjusting so quickly back to life in MLS?
I think we've played some good soccer, and we're a team that's going to create a lot of chances. So I think a lot of guys are going to get goals.
And your combination up top with Sebastian Giovinco is quickly becoming one of the more feared partnerships up top in MLS. Maybe what's been your assessment of Sebastian so far? Have you found a rhythm despite, let's say, a language barrier? And how do you see that developing over the course of this season as well?
Yeah, everything has been, we've been lucky. We kind of get along from day one. We're good friends off the field, so that helps a lot. And he's an easy player to play with because he's a good player, and it's easy to play with good players. So hopefully we can continue to get better and continue to read each other. And I think a lot of people forget that he's a striker himself. He's an attacker. He likes to score goals. That is his main thing in doing. So we want him to do that as much as possible as well, and just be happy here.
Jozy, you're playing a team that's having a bad run of it so far. They're at home, and sometimes are those perhaps the most dangerous games where a team can only go up?
No, absolutely, and especially in MLS. Anybody, what I've seen, anybody can beat anybody. You see Colorado go down and beat Dallas 4-0, and then Dallas comes back and beats them 2-1, and other teams. So you never know how things can go. And Philly's a good team, physical. They're very good on the counter, so it won't be an easy game by any means. We have to be alert and make sure we have the same intensity as we did in Orlando.
And Jozy, just to go back to Seba for a minute, are your movements generally instinctual? Is there a lot of communication between you and Seba on the field of play?
To be honest, not really. We just kind of move and just try to be effective. I don't really remember a time where, he's yelling out, go this way, go that way. When we're not on the ball, we just kind of move and try to make something happen. And he's a natural at that. And as you can see, as you've saw over the weeks, he's an incredible talent. So we're lucky to have him.
In your first handful of games, how has life in Toronto FC in terms of the style of play compared to your time in Sunderland?
Different teams, much different styles. Yeah.
Is there anything, one noticeable difference in terms of the shape or the service you're getting in Toronto that's different from Sunderland? What's made is there anything that's making your life easier here?
I just think they're going through, it's hard to compare the two teams. In Sunderland, they're going through a tough time, and they have been for a number of years. So it's I think it'd be unfair to assess them in comparison with Toronto.
Do you think that your transition back to MLS was made easier with the fact that you have Michael Bradley behind you, a guy who you've played with for so many years now? And how is that relationship developing on a club level now?
Oh, it didn't hurt, but I've played in the league before, and I think that helped me as well. And on the club level, in terms of our relationship, it's as strong as it's ever been. You know, we're always honest and real with each other, and I think that helps in any relationship when you tell a person, you know, without taking it personal, how you feel, and you go from there.